very good win. Really excited about how the guys played. We looked at it this morning. We did what we needed to do, which was control the line of scrimmage, kind of wear them down a little bit in the second half. That's a really good football team we beat. Somebody that probably is a playoff team. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be. They were really good up front. The quarterback's a really good player, excellent player, really good skilled kids. Give our guys a lot of credit. They hung with our game plan, which was needing to run the football, control the clock, keep their offense off the field, and I think we ended up with 39 minutes to their 20 or 21. Halftime, we made a lot of adjustments in the blocking scheme to open up some more running lanes, and the explosive plays, that's what was hurting us in the secondary that we had to eliminate, was the explosive plays, and we were able to do that in the second half. Get the one touchdown that was big for us. We always needed to have that 2-score lead. Our defense plays with an awful lot of confidence in general, but give them a 2-score lead and they really play with confidence. And so excited for Adam Keller. You know, he came off of hip surgery last summer really, and has tremendous leg strength right now. Great confidence. Give Fish and Ben LeCompte credit as well for snapping and holding. But to get 5 field goals in a big game, not 5 field goals in a game when you have a blowout, but 5 critical field goals that we needed all those points, was a great deal for those guys. Then Ben kicking the way he did. They had really dangerous return guys, and we were able to kick it out of the end zone. I don't know. I've been in the Fargo Dome for almost 3.5 seasons now. Never have I seen so many kicks out of the end zone. You know, there was no wind, and somehow we were able to get them 6-7 yards deep, and they were as well. And that was a big part of it, to be able to start at the 25 rather than having that returner who's so explosive get his hands on it and get the ball to midfield or something. And then the punt was critical, getting them pinned down there inside the 5. So that was an area that we emphasized a bunch in the last week, of winning the special teams battle, and we were able to do that. Obviously, having a kicker and punter with the days that they did made that a lot easier. But really impressed that we're improving on special teams. One thing you did notice on special teams, if you were watching, we had a separate punt group, and on a couple of those punts you saw Kyle, LJ, Heagle, Champion. Those guys were all on the first punt unit as well. So we're starting to integrate those guys more, those current starters, into some special teams when they are fresh. We're still working some of those young guys, but we wanted to put some of our starters on a few of those teams. So I'll open up for questions.
Just start right there. Why starters on special teams?
They're that much better than the backups, and there was a couple of critical times where we thought they were going to pressure us, and these guys have played 45 snaps and had an awful lot of game experience, and it'll help getting those younger guys to see how these guys do it in game. And we're not wholesale changing our punt team, but we need to have those young guys see how it's done and see how it's done effectively, so that moving forward those guys feel more confident.
Coach, 4-0 heading into the bye week, how does this team currently rack up against what your expectations were coming into it?
Well, you know, we'd love to have been 4-0 and start the season. We look at the schedule and think we have a chance to be, but 3-1, whatever it may be. But we're getting better. We still have a lot of work to do. We watched both sides of the offense and defense this morning. There were some mistakes on defense we made. We didn't tackle exceptionally well on the perimeter, which we've got to shore up. Some of our alignments with our safeties were incorrect, and we've got to shore those up. But I've never seen a defensive group play so hard. And everybody talks about how hard we play on defense. Watching those guys when our pursuit angles and stuff and the way we're getting to the football, you know, Kyle Emanuel's making plays sideline to sideline as a defensive end. Same with Beck, same with Littlejohn, same with you know, some of those corners. Jordan Champion played really well. We still have to shore some things up on defense, but we're playing really fast. Offensively, we've got to find some more explosive plays. We were methodically moving the football, which was great because it gave our defense a big rest. But in the same respect, we need to be able to hit a few home runs. We need to be able to hit a few 20 and 25-yard gains as opposed to just grinding everything out for 4 to 5.
Coach, I know this is nothing new for Bison football, but considering the opponent and what could be on the line down the road, the tempo you played with right from the first snap of the game, Is that a focus to play fast, to attack both offensively and defense right out of the chute, regardless of the opponent?
Yeah, you would hope so. I mean, we emphasized it a lot more of being in an attack mode offensively. I really liked our first drive offensively of the game. We had multiple formations. We threw the quick game. We ran our power offense. We ran some perimeter run with 3 running backs in the game. I think it really had those guys off balance. And then defensively, boy, our kids fed off the crowd. We were so loud. Our Bison Nation was so loud that first 2 or 3 series, and we were 3 and out each time, and our kids were really playing fast.
You said offensive line and defensive line are your 2 biggest concerns heading into fall camp. Through 4 games, where do you see those positions at?
Well, the one that's improved the most from an individual standpoint is Brad Ambrosius. Brad's played at a really high level the last 2 weeks, and we hope to get Mike back in another couple weeks, so that'll give us a third end that we can rotate in there a little bit more and not have to play Kyle and Mike so much. So really impressed with Brad's progress. Offensive line, Kunert, Leckler, Kelly, Plankers, the guys that were the new guys in the mix are really coming along well and gelling well. And we're playing 7 guys still, and we're going to continue to do that because Schuler comes in and spells Kunert. So feel really good. We can continue to get better, though.
You got 3 votes in the AP top 25 poll of the big guys. Is that some publicity that you enjoy or not? I mean,
didn't even think about it. We're still in the FCS, so that's the most important poll to us. But credit to our players, credit to the program that we have right now.
Chris, are you satisfied? I mean, in the Valley adding replay, and I know that some coaches and ADs have been clamoring for that for a while. Are you satisfied with where that is right now and happy with the progress of having replay?
Yeah, I'm really happy. It's a work in progress, and we know it's going to be a work in progress. We don't have all the camera angles maybe that some stadiums potentially could have at all of our venues in the FCS, specifically Missouri Valley. But guys, we'd have lost Carlton Littlejohn for the game, and it was a really easy call once they slowed it down that Carlton didn't lead with his head or anything, and so they kept the penalty on there, but we were able to keep a really good football player in the game. And had we not had that, same thing that happened to Shep the year before. Shep got ejected from a game in the first half, and they went back and looked and said, oh, it shouldn't have been an ejection. Well, that was critical because Carlton calls all of our defenses. He plays such an integral role of our defense that I'm extremely happy with what we're doing with replay right now.
Do you find it to be problematic that there's some schools that don't have it? You could be going week to week where you don't. Do you think the Valley should just adopt it fully or not adopt it at all?
I think we will. I think it, when Gene and I went to the meetings last February, it was thrown on everybody pretty quickly and who could do it in a short amount of time and budgets and those things. But I think everybody's going to see the benefit of it. And in time, I'm hoping by next year everybody does it. But there's no question that it's a huge benefit to have.
Last week you said you wanted to send some video to the league office to find out what constitutes a legal block, what's not a legal block. There were some more questions raised this week. Is that an ongoing battle for you?
That's a little bit ongoing. The one that we had this week, from the back judge's perception or view, I could see him calling that a clip. From the front, how we saw it, we didn't think it was, but that was a judgment call. And we're still, we're trying to push the envelope of when we can get in that position to cut. And there was still one that we had not heard back from the week before that I'm kind of still waiting on, and I'll talk to somebody this week.
Coach, do you know why the penalty was still in force, even though the NCAA overruled that in March?
Yeah, I did not get why. We're gonna send that one in and ask and say, can you take the penalty away, or should you have taken the penalty away? I understand it's player safety though too, Dom. I mean, they want to. Bottom line, they're going to keep guys healthy any way they can, and we're all for that. And so they're going to err on the side of caution. And I understand all the officials will tell you, we're going to throw the flag, and then we'll go back and have a chance to look at it. But they're always going to err on the side of caution.
Is that the Valley's 20-1 in non-conference? You get set to go into that. Is that about as strong as you can remember in your time in the league? I'm so excited. What a great non-conference for our league, especially against FCS opponents. And we've had some really big wins over Big Sky, over Southland. It'll be great for us.
it makes the league that much more difficult. And we know that if you can get through the Valley, you have an opportunity if you can get into the field of the playoffs. And that's obviously what we're looking at as a league, is to try to make sure that we can get 4 or 5 teams in and then let the chips fall where they may once we get into December.
You spend time on Western this week then?
We'll spend three days on Western this week. We'll spend some time on ourselves and improving some of the things we have to, but we'll get 3 good practices working on Western Illinois. It's a great time for us to have a bye week. We've got some guys obviously nicked up after 4 pretty tough games. We have some guys that are going through some injections and stuff to try to get those guys healed. And we hope, we're crossing our fingers that maybe Mike Hardy can come back in 2 weeks, because he's such a good football player. It gives us another dimension.
Are you done thinking about taking red shirts off anybody?
No, not quite. I mean, we probably would go, Brad didn't get his red shirt pulled till probably game 4 last year, right around there. So with a 12-game season, it would have to be a long-term injury. It wouldn't be able to be a 2 or 3 week injury.
Speaking of injuries, Chris, is this as healthy as you can remember getting through a non-conference part of the schedule? I mean, you guys seem to be relatively healthy.
Yeah, I think so. We haven't had that long time, a season-ending injury, so to speak. Mike Hardy's such a big blow to us losing Mike, because Mike's a 4-year player for us. Losing Nate Moody for the year, that's the one that is probably new to everybody. Nate's, I think, having surgery today. He had surgery in the spring, and his knee just didn't respond. He was able to redshirt because he has not done that yet, so we're going to shelve Nate and have him back next year.
How's Grant Olson been as a coach through the first 4 games, now being full-time on the sidelines with you guys?
He's been great. I felt bad for him at the Iowa State game. The kid was going nuts not being able to get on the field. And I told him, I said, after you get through this first game, it'll become much easier. And he said, you're right. It's gotten easier for him. He's so critical for us. We have 3 guys on our sideline, especially with all the no-huddle offenses that we face, that are signaling. And that's something we've not been able to do in the past. We've got Coach Gazer, we've got Joey Blackmore that's been in our system for 5 years and knows what he's doing, and we've got Grant who's been in our system for 5 years. So we've got 3 guys that are signaling, which is a great thing for us, for all the people that are trying to steal signs.
Does that happen very often? Stealing signs?
Absolutely. A bunch.
Like baseball.
It is, but that's, there's always certain schools will have somebody assigned to whoever is doing your signals, just to see if they can pick up any tendencies. A lot of the no huddles, Jeff, would do that so that they can maybe show your hand a little bit earlier when they still have time on the play clock.
You find that unethical at all?
No. No. Not that we would ever do that.
That's where I was kind of going, Chris.
But no, I don't think so at all. It's just take advantage of everything you can. You're only guaranteed 11 or 12 of these games. We've got to win so many of them, get to the playoffs. Everybody's looking for an edge, especially when you get into Valley play. I mean, we're all so evenly matched. Everybody's evenly matched this year. That you got to be able to win on the road, and you got to be able to steal a couple on the road, and you got to be able to hold serve at home. Because this is I'm telling you, this is an exciting year in the Valley. I know there's a few games this week, and a lot of them are going to be toss-ups every week.